Hello, and I'm Kieran, your host of the weekly Blues Focus podcast series. Joining me today, I've got Paul Mann, a Reading fan, and we're going to have a quick insight into Reading's season so far. Paul, thank you for taking the time to join me today. I just want to
No
start
problem.
quickly and obviously straight off the bat and say you're having a good season so far, aren't you? Kind of defying predictions pre-season of where you'd be. Just give us a bit of an opinion on how it's happened so far and expectations for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I totally agree. No Reading fan would have predicted this start of the season. As I said, you'd have to be a liar as a Reading fan to believe we'd be in this position. No way. Why it's happened? It's a kind of a mystery as well. I mean, Ipanovic has come in as the new manager. He's brought kind of like real faith and confidence into the team. We've only really made one key signing that's different from last season, and that's Josh Lawrence from Shrewsbury. He's been brilliant in midfield. But we've also seen Omar Richards, who is an academy player, really have an amazing start to the season at left back, left wing back, whichever position he's been playing at. And Lucas João has just remained fit. That's one of the major reasons we are where we are, because even last season when he was fit, we were fantastic. But going forwards, I think now you've got to be saying we've got to be going for playoffs at least as a Reading fan, which is unbelievable, really.
Yeah, I mean, I watched your guys on Saturday, and you look, solid against Nottingham Forest. Like I say, obviously Forest down to 10 minutes quite early on, but it was about managing the game from there. Like I say, you didn't really step out of second gear for much of that game. Is that kind of a trend that you've seen so far this season? Obviously, good game management and really knowing when to step on the gas.
Yeah, I think we've improved since we had the start of the season when we had an amazing start from the first 7 or 8 games. Then we dropped off a little bit because we had key players out injured. All those players are back now. And I'd say our game management is actually improving slowly as the game is continuing. We're now starting to dominate possession in some games, kind of look more controlled and kind of like more mature, even as the season's progressing. We kind of like aren't scared to have the ball, but we can also counter-attack, and we also can play direct football. It's an interesting combination. There's no one set style under this manager.
Yeah, because Lucas João, he's kind of a jack of all trades up there, isn't he? Really, he's got quick feet from what I've seen. He almost looks like a bit of a target man as well. Obviously, is he? Would you say your talisman so far? Although obviously also you've got Michael Elise in that number 10 role, who looks a handful as well.
Yeah, Lucas João has definitely been our main man this season. He's got 14 goals in total he's played 16 matches, which is incredible. It's his link-up play, not just his goal threat. Just his sheer physicality, his ability to hold the ball. But Michael Elise is a special talent. There's been comparisons made by Reading fans to certain Bellingham, who played for you last season, who has obviously proven himself and got a massive move to Dortmund. But he's got magic in his feet, Michael Elise. He can just see a through ball. He's not scared to go past the person. He just seems to get better and better as the season progresses. And I'm hoping he does it again tomorrow against you.
Yeah, well, that makes one of us. I mean, another thing I did see as well is Morrison obviously popped up with a goal at the weekend, and player that obviously many Blues fans will tell you we should have kept on to hold of when you got him. He seems to be forming a very solid partnership at the back and kind of making that role his own. But do you think he has been more than what you expected when you signed him? What did Reading fans make of his signing originally?
I think we were slightly underwhelmed when we signed him, mainly because of his age as well. But he's been brilliant for us. Even last season, when we were struggling, yes, he isn't the best passer in the world. You'll know that better than anyone else. And he hasn't been blessed with pace. But wow, he can defend and he can lead that team. If you wanted someone to head a ball, Michael Morrison would be right up there, leader of the pack. He is a complete captain. And yeah, he'd be one of our favourite players at the club now for his consistency of performance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, we were gutted. Well, majority of us were when we let him go. To think that we just didn't want to give him a 2-year deal was disappointing. When you look at the fact that we're worse off, arguably, than what he is at Reading now, kind of tells its own story, doesn't it? like I say, a lot of creativity in your side. But looking ahead to the game tomorrow, what kind of game plan do you think he'll go with, taking into consideration Karanka seems to know how to set us up defensively? They're going to be more of a patient style from you, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Slightly worries me the fact that you haven't lost in your last 5 away matches. That kind of these are the kind of teams that do worry me. When you're flying so high like we are at the moment, you think there can always be in the championship. There's a game that can surprise you, and this has all the feelings of it. And if you score first, as we saw even against Sheffield Wednesday when we played them last week, and they went down to 10 men very early, we struggled to get that next chance. Admittedly, the referee did not want to give us a penalty, and there were some blatant ones. But I do feel that we're not going to come out all guns blazing. I find that unlikely against a manager like Karanka because he knows the championship inside out.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen, or what I would say is, you say often there is always that one result every round of fixtures, isn't there? I think we kind of had that result ourselves at the weekend with Bristol City. So I'm like I said to you before recording, I'm going into this game with the same sort of expectation, and I think if we get the lead, it's a case of can we show our mettle and hold on to it. But I quite concerned with the creativity in your side. I think you'll give our fullback some problems personally. But obviously we've touched on Lucas Shaw as well. But what other players do you think we should have to worry about tomorrow? Really, obviously, performing the way you are, there's got to be a lot of players stepping up to the mark, hasn't there, really, at the minute?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's two different sides to it. There's a creative side. Omar Richards is very good, got very good stats for the championship for a fullback. There's also Ovia Jaria, who's got really incredibly fast feet in the midfield. He's someone who's kind of been simmering this season. He hasn't quite reached the peak, but I feel he's coming back. And someone who else is a kind of like a stopper and a player who will negate all your threat, hopefully, is Rinamoto in midfield. He's a player who won't do anything that you'll think that's amazing. He won't play an amazing through ball or anything, but he's a real instrumental part of our team and why we've done so well.
Yeah, I was going to say he's another one who stood out to me against Forest. It's just an engine, isn't it, in the middle of the park there. I think as a football fan in general, I was kind of taken by surprise when there was another managerial change at Reading. Obviously, you had was it Bowen halfway for the second half of last season. What's the new manager brought to Reading that was lacking last season? That's made you take that extra step, do you think?
I don't know. I think he's feeding them something incredible. I don't know what it is. I wish I knew. It's consistency. And also, I would say it's slightly style of play. I would say under Mark Bowen, we were waiting for an opportunity and we didn't really want to create it. I think now we've got more risk-taking in the team that we're selecting. And also we're playing the football in the opposition half far more. Under Bowen, it was quite stale and negative. At one game last season, I think we had 5-6 fullbacks on the pitch at one point at Charlton away. You know, that's the kind of indication of where we were with him. But with Panovic, he will try to attack if possible. He's not gung-ho. He's not going to suddenly go crazy and kamikaze football. But I feel the kind of mentality has slightly changed within the group. We're prepared to take risks. And he will always back the team. Whether we've played well or badly, he's never going to come out and publicly attack them.
Yeah. Obviously, it's worked so far, hasn't it? So, any real memories stand out from your time playing fixtures against Birmingham as such?
I've got to say, most of them are negative. One I remember, I'll do this. I'll put myself in this position because it'll be a good memory for your Birmingham fans listening. When Kevin Phillips came down and scored last day of the season. I think he maybe 2-0 or 2-1 in the end, but you got promoted. And
got promoted, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember that one.
I was thinking it earlier when I was thinking of these questions in my head. I thought my memory is obviously that one. I mean, I was at Reading away last day of, not last season, season before, which was a 0-0 draw, John O'Shea's last game. wasn't really much to shout about in that game, really. And then obviously last season we won 3-2 with Bella's free kick. So we seem to have a bit of joy at your grounds,
Yeah,
obviously.
definitely.
From our point of view, touch wood, that continues, but we'll see. I suppose. Score prediction for tomorrow, Paul?
I'm going to go for, we're scoring goals at the moment, so I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Reading.
Interesting. And then obviously we spoke about it earlier on with where do you think for the season, but prediction come the end of the season, where do you think you'll be?
Us, well, yeah, where we're going to finish? I want to go in the playoffs. I'm going to be very optimistic. We've had such a good start. We got an owner who wouldn't be prepared to spend a little bit of money, even in the COVID world, in the transfers. I don't think we'll lose anyone. That's the key factor. So, yeah, I think we're finishing the playoff spots. It still sounds mad.
I think yeah, definitely. I mean, like we said, I think if you look at the table, at the start of the season, you'd have thought that yourself and Forest would have been in each other's situations at this point, realistically. But obviously, you're absolutely flying at the minute, 1 point off the top of the league, so can't really grumble too much, I suppose.
No, I'm definitely not. No, I'm quite happy.
No, I mean, yeah, it's been great having you on, and obviously just getting a bit of insight into Reading, really. And like I say, I've been following your results and watched you as and when. I'm just hoping that tomorrow you have an off day. Oh, I'm gonna stick my neck on the line and I'll say 1-1. Why not? Yeah. I'll take a point. Take a point. But no. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me anyway for a quick chat. It's been brilliant. Obviously, we'll get you on again in the reverse fixturing, and hopefully our teams will be in differing situations then. It can be us who come into it with a cautious optimism.
No, I get that completely. So we'll see how it goes. You never know, the championship can change very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Well, like I say, thanks for your time, Paul, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers. Thanks.